What's up? I'm the Empathetic Chicken, and this is gonna be my Halloween themed card reading. And I have multiple decks, but I think to make it simple, I'm just gonna use the Halloween tarot and then maybe pull some oracle cards at the end. I created a spread and it's based on a haunted house, and I just wanted to capture like the different, I don't know, like characters maybe we would meet if we were to go into a haunted house. So I just had 3 overall themes, which were reveal, clear, and create. Like each spread position is a different part of the house, and you meet a different character, and it has a different message. Anyway, I'm just gonna see what comes out, and I'm gonna have fun with it because it's been a long time, and I love Halloween. Anyway, I hope we have some fun, and hope you get something out of it. But if not, it's all good. So let's get into the first section, which is going to be reveal. So the jack-o'-lantern on the front porch. What's being illuminated for us at this time? We have judgment, the reflection in the bathroom mirror. What aspect of ourselves have we been unwilling to see? The bats in the attic. What higher wisdom does the darkness in our lives have for us? Got 2 majors. Some major crap. I'm just kidding. So, judgment for the jack-o'-lantern on the front porch. I don't know. I feel like these people in the card, like they're, like, obviously that says awaken, sleeper, and rise. And so, like, this little vampire dude's like summoning them almost to like wake up and kind of be reborn after their deaths. And so I feel like maybe we've been through a lot of stuff and kind of an old part of us has died, but like now it's time to rise again and figure out what's next. And maybe there's, I don't know, like judgment can also be about like the judgment we have for others or ourselves, or like maybe we're being asked to recognize how we judge ourselves or each other based on like our expectations, like what we feel like we're capable of. Almost feels like this dude's like kind of trying to inspire them to be more and come up out of the ground and do something else, you know? So with this card, we got the reflection in the bathroom mirror. What aspect of ourselves have we been unwilling to see? The High Priestess. So she's sort of like the keeper of knowledge and secrets and stuff, and sort of that part of us that knows but doesn't really like bring attention to ourselves. Like we just kind of keep it on the down low. Maybe we're not acknowledging how much we actually know and like the wisdom that we bring into this next chapter. The bats in the attic. What higher wisdom does the darkness in my life have for me? King of Ghosts. So that's the King of Cups. So I feel like he's very emotionally stable, and so that makes me feel like maybe like if we are going through like a tumultuous time, we, like, despite how we may feel, like we are capable of handling it. And even if we aren't, like the troubled time will lead to kind of gaining this skill of like composure or whatever, like emotional composure. Because I feel like it, like going through difficult stuff, like it just kind of builds that resilience. It kind of gives us the opportunity to face things and not control our emotions, but just get a handle on like how we respond to certain things and kind of gain a little bit of knowledge like in the future for when similar situations happen. So it just kind of makes us a master of our emotions, like the dark moments in life. So anything we really go through, there's gonna be, or I personally believe there's gonna be like a benefit to it. Okay, I'm gonna just move them up there. We're gonna go explore some other places of the house. So we're gonna move on from reveal to clear as our theme. So the ghost in the hallway. What area of our life still seeks resolution? And the skeleton in the closet. What remains could use a proper burial to make space. And the monster under the bed. What part of us have we kept hidden away that wants to be released? Alright, so the ghost in the hallway. What area of our lives still seeks resolution? 6 of Pentacles, or pumpkins, I'm sorry. Skeleton in the closet. What remains could use a proper burial to make space. The monster under the bed. What part of us have we kept hidden away that wants to be released? Okay. So the ghost in the hallway. What area of our life still seeks resolutions? I feel like this is about like how much we give away to others. I mean, I know this card is sort of like a balanced. I guess this is more of like the goal as far as like expending our energy or whatever. Is that a word? Expenditure? Yeah. So you want it to be like equal give and take. Like this lady's got plenty of candy and this kid's like kind of, oh, it looks like they're getting a handout. They're like kind of asking a lot, but I mean, she's got plenty to give and she doesn't look bothered by it or anything. And that's the nature of trick-or-treating, you know. You know the kids are going to show up and want the candy, so it's not really like she's being put out in any way or whatever, because she gets to enjoy their little costumes and feel the gift of giving. So I don't know, I feel like this is like with the whole what area is seeking resolution, I think it has to do with like maybe we've been like an overgiver before, or like just, I don't know, like giving away our energy to our own detriment, like. And I feel like that's needing attention and resolution, because if you like give away everything you have, it's like there's nothing left for you. And not to be selfish, but like you can't really like give if you're all out. Like I feel like you gotta, that thing where you gotta like rest and take care of yourself so that you'll have more, like you'll show up better in the future. So, the skeleton in the closet. What remains could use a proper burial to make space. We have the Knight of Imps, which is the Knight of Wands. So yeah, I think like I feel like it's just saying a similar message of like this dude's sort of like going for it. Like he's going towards like the giving in this card. Like he's just like, anybody asks, he's like ripping and roaring and ready to go. Like he's not thinking twice. And I don't know, I feel like maybe this could have to do with like our sort of like creative resources, because he is like a wand. Because I don't know, I don't know why I'm thinking like the king or the Knight of Swords. He's like very like stealthy or like fast paced and like going, but this guy like with this little nostril breathing here, like it feels like he's very like go, you know. But usually like the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Imp or Wands, whatever, is like about sort of like being a show off or something. So maybe like we feel like we have to kind of do the most to make a point, like to show that we're like worth something, or I don't know. Not that it's like a conscious thing of like wanting to just be a show off or something, but maybe we just feel like we gotta do the most and like really give it our all, or else like we're not going to be taken seriously, or we're not going to have what we need or something. I don't know. But I feel like that part of us, like that overachiever kind of like seeking validation or like fearing failure, like if we're not basically like overgiving everything, I feel like that part needs to be put to rest, and like there needs to be another, like a boundary there, and sort of like not engaging in that will make space for something else. Like allow yourself to think through instead of just acting all the time. Because eventually the monster under the bed is going to come to call. So what part of us have we kept hidden away that wants to be released? So like the pain, this is the three of bats. The pain, the three of swords. Like the pain of just always being the one doing everything and like never receiving back what you put in. And I mean, I'm not saying like we're owed anything or that we do things to like get stuff, but it can be really hurtful to realize that you've put so much in, and then like whenever it comes to you needing something, or you know, like it's just like there's clearly an imbalance and you're not getting like anything back. Or if you get anything, it's like not substantial. So I feel like there's pain, I guess, from feeling that imbalance that needs to be released, and we don't have to feel like we gotta hide that. Like, I don't know, maybe like there's some fear around like appearing weak if we admit that we have boundaries, or that we have limitations and need to rest and can't always be available and show up for people the way that they expect, or that we expect ourselves to. But there's no shame in just not doing everything, like just because that's what you've gotten used to. Like, you don't have to continue that, and if you don't continue that, it doesn't make you a bad person, even if people respond like in uncomfortable ways, like toward you changing the behavior. Yeah, I think like also like showing up so much for other people, it doesn't allow you to show up for yourself. So even if like people, like whether they show up for you or not, like the most important thing is that you make time to show up for yourself, and you actually like address any underlying feelings or pain, and you don't just keep like acting to avoid those things. Like I know sometimes I'm guilty of just like keeping myself busy and not wanting to like acknowledge areas where I'm hurting, and then eventually those areas like catch up with me, and I feel like it's probably like worse when I don't process them in the moment, and then like later on I'm just like hit with this big wave of just like stormy pain. You know. So anyway, just like acknowledge the pain that wants to be released, and don't like feel like you gotta harbor that or like hang on to that, because it's meant to be felt and released. And you probably already know that. But you might be judging yourself because you feel like you're not allowed to feel a certain way. If nobody's like validating your needs, like you might feel like you're not allowed to be weak or like have a moment where you need rest. But you are, friend, because it's equal, man. It's got to be equal. Oh, maybe I didn't see no man. I'm thinking of that little burrito thing. Anyway. So yeah, I think I'm gonna move on. I think I've said enough. So we're gonna move on to create. So we've like revealed some things, and we've acknowledged some things that need to be cleared. Now what can we like create? Okay, the witch in the kitchen. What magic potion can we brew up to remedy the situation? Cat in the living room. What allies or resources have we been taking for granted? And the mad scientist in the basement. What's a groundbreaking experiment or unconventional approach we can try at this time? Alright, so I'm going to just go with the witch in the kitchen. We got the 4 of bats. Cat in the living room, the hermit, which looks like the mad scientist. He should have been in this third one. The mad scientist, what's a groundbreaking experiment? Okay, I already said that. Alright, anyway, I'm going to just stick that there because we got death on the bottom, which feels like an overall relevant theme for Halloween and stuff. Okay, so let me just make sure we're in the frame. We is kind of in the frame. I'm just gonna move these up a little because I feel like it's not really that in the frame. Okay. So, the witch in the kitchen. What magic potion can we brew up to remedy this situation? So, like I was saying before, like it's alright to take a rest. Don't have to do the most. Like maybe like rest your mind if you're worried about like how you're gonna look to other people, or if you're a bad person or not. If you can't like be there for everybody and fix everything and do everything, like just relax if you can. And just like, yeah, take a load off, man. So, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Like, you don't really, like, it's like the magic potion that you have to brew up. Like, you don't even have to, like, cook it. Like, you can just, like, just put the cooking stuff down and lay down and shut up and sleep. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like, that's just, like, the easiest cooking ever. Like, I wish every cooking, like, every kind of cooking was that way, because I suck at cooking. Anyway, the cat in the living room. What allies or resources have I been taking for granted? So, like, I feel like this one is super self-explanatory, too. It's like the hermit. So, like, we have this, like, wealth of like, support and just wisdom within us, but we just don't always tap into it because we're so busy, like, being distracted by everybody else with their hands out. And no offense to anybody else, but it's like we have our own little like experiments and magical potions to make when we wake up after we sleep and rest. We gotta attend to our own stuff, our goals, and our needs, our brains, our mental space. So yeah, I feel like our very best friend is ourselves, even when we don't realize that or want to acknowledge that. That's usually what we're missing. Like, even if we feel like lonely or whatever, like, the best company you can have is with yourself, like, because you don't have to worry about like if somebody's having fun or if they want to do the same things as you. I mean, I'm not like knocking having companionship or company or friends or anything, because like it can be like really nice and magical and stuff, but I think like even like in relationships, like people can acknowledge that they also benefit from like alone time and just being present like with themselves more. Like, it's just like, I don't know, I just feel like there's that balance of like you need both. Like, you need, of course you need like community and companionship and love and support and all that stuff, but you also need like time to reflect and like rise up and like do your magic and rest and process your crap. And when you feel ready, like, you need to like rush ahead. But I'm just saying, and like composure, man. Like, you just can't have this kind of composure if you're always like rushing and avoiding this and just giving out all this. Anyway, like, so yeah, I think I covered that. So like, don't forget, like, you can go within like anytime if you give yourself the space to do so, because that's one thing that I can admit that I need to do more of, is just come back to myself, because it's easy to get lost in other people. Alright, so the final spread position is the mad scientist in the basement. What's a groundbreaking experiment or unconventional approach we can try at this time? And we have the world. So the world is all about like the ending of a cycle. Like you've been through some crap, like you've gone through the journey, and now you've learned some stuff, and you don't want to like repeat that same journey. Like you're gonna go on another one. Like it's just unavoidable. But you don't want to go down that same path, like, because you've learned so much. And I think that's cool how it, like, kind of loops back up to judgment. Because, like, I think judgment is sort of like, I feel like in another deck, like, I've seen the keyword, like, liberation or something. Or maybe the card was called liberation. But I just see it as, like, a sort of like an awakening to your true potential. And just using your full capacity, like, not like overextending yourself, but just like knowing, like, let me just say that, knowing your capacity and not like overdoing it, and giving yourself what you need. That way you can show up in the places you want to show up, like, efficiently. So yeah, like, just try something new. Like, don't go down the same path. And like, yeah, it might feel scary at first, but that's why, like, you got your inner resource here. Like, you got your back, like, no matter what. So anyway, and then we got death over here. I forgot to say that, like, as sort of like wrapping this all up, like, just put it to rest. Like, this little skeleton, like, he's dead and all, but he's like watering these little gourds, these pumpkins and stuff, his garden. He's got like, I don't know, it's just like a lot going on in this card, but like the buzzard's there to like take away all the old stuff, clear it away, and just make way for what's next, and happy times amongst the darkness. So yeah, I don't know, I just feel like rebirth kind of energy, like new cycles and reclaiming like your own energy and the magic of that and the inner wisdom. Yeah. I have some oracle decks that are like Halloween-y themed, so I'm gonna pull some just to see what we get. The Veil, the future. Stonehenge, where the demons dwell. Sorry. Okay, so we have the Veil, the future. Let me find it. I'm gonna read it. The Veil. The ancient Celts used to call the time of the longest night of the year Samhain. They believed that there was a misty veil that separated the world of the dead and the living. But on 2 nights of the year, Samhain and Beltane, the shortest night, that veil would thin. The fineness of the veil meant the ancestors were closer than ever, and even the gods would be close. This would mean that communication from the dead were more likely to occur, and that divination, where the divine speaks through something, would be more effective. So whilst using this oracle as the veil lifts, know that the other worlds are close. Listen in particular to what messages may come forth around your future. Look to what you want to happen. Plan, set intentions. Think big. And then with it, let me find my book. My book. This is that deck if you want to know. And then this is the other. Oh, these two. Okay. Between the worlds. Between the worlds I go, fearless, brave, willing to know. Between the worlds I go, onwards, heartwards I flow. Gateway between the world, underworld, upper world, and Middle Earth. Passage to fairy, hedge riding, trance work, guided meditation, stepping from one world into another, changing realities, initiations, and life passages. Those are the keywords. And the questions are, what is your relationship with the other worlds? How grounded are you? What initiations do you desire? What initiations do you fear? I don't know, maybe I guess it's just highlighting the fact that this is a time of spiritual, like, where the spiritual world is very, like, present and noticeable. So just tap into that. And, yeah. That's all I'm getting. I'm going to pull from this Haunts Oracle that I just got at the market, the Oddities Market recently, from Creepy Girl Trap. She's on Instagram. Yeah, let's see what message. But this deck is by Stacey Williams NG. Sorry if that's wrong. Anywho, what message do you have for us right now? Okay. I'll just drop this, so we're going to take it. Flood, anxiety, and torrents. So number 16. Fear of drowning. People have a natural, even primal fear of drowning, often despite their level of swimming skill. The fear stems from the threat that drowning poses to our most fundamental physiological need, breathing. The suffocating sensation, the inability to draw breath, and the overwhelming feeling of water filling the lungs the suffocating sensation, the inability to draw breath, and the overwhelming feeling of water filling the lungs are intensely terrifying experiences. This inherent response is not learned, but is hardwired into our biology. In esoteric practices such as reading tarot, the element of water is associated with the emotional life, which makes sense when you think of tears, sweat, and the watery sensation in the belly when we fall in love. So too does drowning make an apt analogy to the feeling of being emotionally swept away by anxieties that leave us so panicked that we physically cannot draw breath. Anxiety is a feeling that physically affects the whole body and is an apt analogy to our perception of water immersion. The feeling of being submerged, unable to touch solid ground, and at the mercy of an environment we are not naturally equipped for can be profoundly unsettling. When you draw this in association with another card, the flood card can serve as a clarifier to the other, meaning a torrent of it, flooded with it, overcome, and drowning in it. Try to calm yourself and assess ways in which you can assess the situation and paddle to safety. Questions to ask. What am I metaphorically speaking drowning in? Is there a torrent of emotions that I'm feeling about something? What is my usual response when I feel overwhelmed or buried in work or responsibilities? When was the last time you felt as though your breath had been taken away by emotions? So I don't know, I feel like that kind of goes along with these like emotional cards that we pulled earlier, and just like how we might feel like really flooded by all the responsibilities that we have, and just like we can't catch a breath, like we're just tired, man. Or like flooded with like the emotions of just feeling like used and just abused and all that. So let me see what else. I feel like I'm just having fun, so I don't want to go. But I don't really know that there's anything else. I don't know. I did just get this like Tricker Tarot, and I wanted to use it, but I was like kind of nervous because I don't feel like I know it well enough yet. But what the hey? Let's get a closing message from it. And it shuffled so nicely. Look at that. I found it on eBay, and I got a feel for like the deck and then the book, and like I think it's the Lenormand, I don't know how to say it, that kind of deck, which I'm also not very skilled in, but I had one. Me and my sister had one as a kid, and we would like play around with it. Anyway, What closing message do we have for this reading? Anything else you want us to know before I leave? Alright. The Emperor. So let me just, why not read some more? The Emperor. Ooh. If a certain actor, nameless here, had ever conspired to play Count Dracula in a makeup that presented him in a manner that was consistent with the character that Bram Stoker described in his novel, this is possibly how he would have appeared. Everyone knows that the Count Dracula is the king of the monsters, a certain giant lizard's claims to that title notwithstanding, and that makes Dracula the king of all Halloween. He is in charge of his dark celebration. He is the decider. He represents authority, direction, and a purposeful nature, all of which are qualities that the most famous vampire in history possesses in abundance. The ram, representing the zodiacal Aries, and the orb of earth and the spirit are traditional symbols belonging to the emperor here. The ram is sculpted atop a castle pillar, while the orb is represented by the pumpkin that the count so artfully carries. The traditional ankh has here been replaced by candlelight. The count is refined, intelligent, and wholly in balance with light and dark, nature and science. If he favors you, it may be because he recognizes you as a peer, or simply that his powers of judgment will prove benevolent or beneficial. If he favors you, it may be because he recognizes you as a peer, or simply that his powers of judgment will prove benevolent or beneficial to you. Ugh. If he favors you, it may be because he recognizes you as a peer, or simply that his powers of judgment will prove benevolent or beneficial to you. In his negative aspect, well, you're what's on the menu. Eey. Well, I guess you don't want to be on the menu, so maybe we want to be the Dracula and be in control of our lives, man. Anyway, I guess that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to pull a card, any card. But I hope this was helpful. I can't shake the anxiety that it sucks, but I'm going to post it anyways, and just going to hope that something made sense and try to celebrate the fact that I showed up anyways, regardless of my judgment. Okay. Alright, friends. I hope you have a happy Halloween if you celebrate. If not, like, hope you have a happy whatever day, week, month, year. And I'll be around. Not really sure what's next yet, but thanks for being with me, and I'd love to know if anything resonated or what you thought or anything at all. Alright, love you, friends.